Hello and welcome back to Solid. My name is Jake. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is Friday, June 6th, and it is the last day of the week, the XFL Championship week. In 2 days, the Battlehawks are playing the Defenders, and it's win or die at this point. Talked about it a lot all week. You care about things, go back and listen to them. I suggest um, Monday and then Wednesday and Thursdays. Don't listen to Tuesdays. Tuesdays sucked. That one I just read numbers off, but pretty much just Wednesday and Thursday. On Monday I did a my version of the UFL awards, and then on Tuesday, I read a bunch of numbers, and I can't remember why. I pretty much just flushed that out in my head. And then on Wednesday, I did a recap of the Week 3 game between the Battlehawks and the Defenders. Is the one that the Battlehawks got their dicks kicked in. It's that one. Is that one that we tried to forget a lot about. We tried to. Not with me, though. Not with me. I'm not going to let you forget about it because there's a lot of bad stuff that happened in that game. Go back and listen to those ones. And then yesterday, I did a bird's eye preview of this game. But I am going to start off today with the important thing, which is, okay, so first I should say, today, doing my awards. The only awards that matter. All UFL MVP. UFL Offensive Player of the Year. Blah. UFL Defensive Player of the Year. No. Special Teams Player of the Year. Yeah, right in the button. Head Coach of the Year. Birds, bitch. We don't care about that. We care about my awards. My awards are the only ones that matter to me. That's my argument for it. That's my elevator pitch. Anyway, first thing that we're going to do, though, is we're going to look at the depth chart with what the Battlehawks have going on with this game, and it is bad news. Inactive this game. Avery Young, safety, he hasn't played. Mac McCain, the third, cornerback, don't care. Tetton Saltz, backup tackle. Ryan Cole, backup tackle. Don't really care. Sam Wiggles, the guy that I famously, before the season started, said, hey, if there's one guy that I think is going to be good besides Hakeem Butler and Ja'Cour Pearson, it's this Sam Wiggles guy. That was wrong. He's inactive. Don't care. The last inactive, and it sucks, is Austin Falliou. I hate being right. I do hate being right because I'm right a lot. I'm right a lot of the time. I am right a lot of the time. And I hate it. It's a curse. It's a gift, but it's a curse. Going into week 10 when I said, hey, don't play Austin Falliou. The guy could probably use an extra week of rest rather than, 17 reps. Is that all he played? I'm not going to look it up. But he played a very limited number of reps in that game. And it's like, on a rainy field, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that we should be doing that. That seems like that's a bad idea to have him doing that. And then, hey man, I was right. Because he was a full participant on Wednesday, and then on Thursday he was a limited participant with a left knee thing, and then on Friday I don't know, but he's inactive for the game on Sunday, and that right there is a big old kick in the dick, and why you don't play with the hands of fate. Man, that sucks. That really does suck. So right now, everything is the same for every position. Max Duggan starting, Brandon Silver's backup. Jared Jones-Smith starting left tackle, Steven Gonzalez left guard, Mike Panashuk center. Right guard is Donovan West. Right tackle is Jawan Bushell-Beatty. Running back is Jacob Sailors, Jarvian Howard. And I almost wonder if they're going to let Kevin Latulis, I still don't know his name, get some run. Tight ends are Jake Sutherland, Chase Allen, Hakeem Butler, Ja'Cour Pearson, Frank Darby, Gary Jennings Jr., Blake Jackson, and Jerome Kapp. That is your offense. On defense, it is obviously defense all the same. Peta, Carson, Travis Feeney, Mike Rose, Callahan O'Reilly, Willie Harvey, Nick Whiteside, Quintero Cole, Cam Kelly, Miles Jones, Miles Sims, Nate Maters, Lucas Dennis, and Mike Abraham. The change, though, is with the defensive interior, them Chonko boys. It's going to be Frida Makin-Mladen. It's going to be TJ Pesafea. Kyler Baugh is going – they have him as a starter. I don't like that. Phil Hoskins and a name this could be fake. Shaka Toney, Shaka space Toney. That is your defensive line. Austin Fallu would have been great to have, because he's a big guy, and like I said yesterday, making sure that the run up the interior does not happen, establish itself, or succeed in any way, shape, or form. Having a big guy like Austin Fallu would be pretty freaking awesome for that. But that's not the case. So that's your Battlehawks starters. No big losses for DC. They had this wide receiver, Ty Scott, that it sounded like was maybe thinking about playing this week, but he is not. He is inactive. So, the Battlehawks have the bigger inactive in this game. Okay, put that out of the way. It is time for my awards. It is time for my awards. And if you thought for a second that I was going to do this without a hat on, with this greasy bad hair that I have, you're so stupid. No, most of the time, if you're watching this, speaking of which, if you want to watch this, you can watch this. It's at Solid Pod on YouTube. If you're listening to it on Apple or Spotify, you can watch it on Solid Pod on YouTube. If you're not watching this, or if you are watching this and you don't want to watch it because you're like, oh, this guy's doesn't have a hat on right now. He's got this greasy, gross little hair that he's got going on. I'm about to change that. But if you are watching and you don't want to watch it, you can go to Spotify and Apple. But I'm about to change this. Most of the time, look on this camera. Most of the time you see it on my dog head. Most of the time you see it on my underdog head. Most of the time you see it right, I'm pointing at it on the screen. This is pretty impressive that I did this because it's reversed. Most of the time you see it on this dog head. But for awards, we go big hat. For award season, we go big hat. I don't get to wear the big hat anymore. Is it a big hat? Is it a big hat, or is it a normal size hat and I have a tiny head? You guys have never seen me in person probably, so you don't know. I can assure you, though, I have a giganto size head, so this hat is even bigger. Like my hat, like I don't have any near me right now, but like I have to do like the connector thing, the strap back on the back, or the snap back on the back. I have to do it on like the last peg because this noggin's so big. So this hat is actually massive, man. It's a big hat. Got it for Christmas. All right, and I love it. I love this hat. I don't get it. I don't get to wear it. And look at me. Look at us. How did we get here? Who would have thought? Not me. Okay. Thinking about the way that I wanted to go about my award ceremony here. So as it would turn out, I am not the most, say, reliable, smart, realistic, I don't know. I'm not good, I think is the best way to say it. And a lot of times what I did during these weeks is that I would come up with an award with the intention of doing that award for multiple weeks. Turns out I didn't. And some weeks I just was the only time that award got issued. Say if I wanted to do an award for the Hell Yeah of the week. The Hell Yeah of the week happened in week 2. And that was the Hell Yeah of the year, as a matter of fact, because there's only one nominee, is the two dudes who were slapping each other during the week 2 game when the Battlehawks were playing, who the hell was that? San Antonio at home. If you recall, during the broadcast, it just cut to two dudes. Like one guy was just standing there with his hands behind his back, and his friend, just 5 stars him right in the cheek, and they did it in slow motion. The guy who got slapped just goes, and just like yells in his friend's face. And to that, I said, hell yeah. And I thought there was going to be Hell Yeahs of the week every single week. Turns out there wasn't, or I forgot about it completely. So, Hell Yeah of the week goes to those two guys. Congratulations. I got a certificate for you if you want it. If you know either of those two guys, tell them Jake says, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Another one of these that I thought might, potentially be something that I do all season long was the hero of the week. And I got to tell you, when I went back and listened and watched and read all my notes and everything like that, um, I I kind of did it over like the last week, and I missed a lot of the context with which I gave these awards out for. The hero of the week, I just wrote the ref who didn't call taunting. Listen, and I don't know the context. Again, don't know the context of that. But if there's a point in my life where I'm like, yeah, that guy's a hero for not calling taunt, now I'm saying that the wrong way. Any ref who has the opportunity to call a taunting penalty and then doesn't, that guy is a hero. You could abuse your power all you want. You'd be like, that guy felt taunted. You have no idea if that guy was feeling taunted. You barely know if the guy who was taunting somebody was actually taunting somebody. Now, that being said, I wrote this with very little context. I do remember what I was talking about. This was also in the week 2 game. And if you recall, there was a play where Manny Wilkins ran out of bounds, and then I think he threw the football at another guy's testicles. He threw the ball at another guy's testicles or threw it at him some way. And then the other guy pushed Manny Wilkins in the face, and then it ended up being, I think, a personal foul on that guy rather than a personal foul on him and a taunting personal foul on Manny Wilkins. Regardless, great. He didn't call taunting. So the hero of the week goes to that ref. Again, if you know that guy, I'm going to say it after everyone. Let him know, and I'll give him a certificate because he's a hero. The last one, where there is only one nominee. Is there a bunch of dog? Can you see the dog hair on this hat on the camera? I think you can. I'm trying to look at it right now. Just ignore it. Ignore the dog hair. I'm going to do my best to ignore it, so that means that you have to as well. Okay. The last award that only had one nominee, and not a good award to get, and this is one that I have referenced multiple times this week. It is the, well, that didn't work of the week. The, that didn't work. You did something, you tried something, and it didn't work. You tried that, and it didn't work. And that one, obviously, is going to go to Anthony Becht for his pump-up speech that he gave his defense before the Week 3 game when they did get absolutely, I don't want to say absolutely slaughtered by the defenders, but they lost their first game of the season. And he, in the locker room, said something along the lines of, "Hey, defense, I want this to be a 4-quarter fucking massacre. When you walk out of this locker room, I want you to step on that field and put yourself in a dark place. Think about a really dark time and take it out on the other team." And obviously, you get the message that he's going for. Punish the bad guys. Punish them. Be mad. Be mad. Now, there's a different way to tell somebody to be mad and take it out. Certainly don't remind them of sad times in their life. Nobody, when somebody is talking, if there's ever a story about somebody who attempted suicide and survived, there is I was in a really dark time in my life. I was in a really dark time in my life. That's what they say. Whenever Mike Tyson or any boxer, Paddy the Baddy, Jorge Masvidal, Brian Dawkins, Takeo Spears, anybody like that, whenever they're attacking somebody on a field or in a fight or something like that, the thing that they say is, yeah, I was in the zone, or I was taking out my aggression on them. Not, yeah, I thought about that time my son died. That's not the part, that's not the brain that you want these guys to be in. You don't want them to be that. You want them to be very, very mean and very, very mad, not very, very sad and very, very gloom. That is not what we're going for. You want game face, not frowns. That is, Tony, you really tried. So you swung for the fences there, and it didn't work. If I know yesterday I said the one thing I wanted Tony to do was to kind of not use his challenge, and I phrased it in a way that, well, I thought about it afterwards. The UFL can be crooked. I'm not going to complain about it because I'd be beneficiary. If they wanted to be, if they wanted to be UFL rigged, I ain't going to complain. You probably won't complain either. Go Battlehawks. That's what I'm saying. We're on the same page. So that was one thing for him. But the other tip that I have for Tony is don't make your players sad. Don't do that. Don't make your players sad, Tony. Okay, so if you know Anthony Becht, tell him, I guess, that, yeah, you get it. Okay, I'll give him a certificate for the, that didn't work. Okay, let's get into some actual awards. I think the next one I want to go with, let's go with this one. Let's go with something lighthearted. Clean, fun. People like this guy. Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the Week. Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick. You kicked the ball far, man. You kicked the ball far. Now, the problem here is that this is a tie. I have a two-way tie between Donkey Dick, Donkey Kicks of the Week. I got a tie between Sterling Hoffrichter for having a goddamn cannon on the bottom half of his body, launching punts, 60-yard averages, getting punts from out of his own end zone. I'm giving the guy Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the Week twice. On the other hand, giving the Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the Week twice to Rodrigo Blankenship. You know, the guy for a very, very long time did not miss a kick. Guy had a 56-yard field goal. Guy's kicking multiple field goals in a game from a pretty long distance. Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the Week worthy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's how do I deal with this? Well, I'm going to give it to the guy that's going to go to the NFL. I'm not an idiot. Come on. Yes, I love Sterling Hoffrichter. I love a punter, man. I hate a punt, but I love a punt, and I love a punter. That being said, unfortunately, I'm going to be on the right side of history with this one. I talked shit on Rodrigo Blankenship before the season started. I did. I said this guy sucks. I said he flamed out in the NFL. He had a more successful college career than he did in the NFL. Who would have seen that coming? That doesn't happen with players. But then he flamed out in the NFL. I said he's going to come to this team and he's going to suck dick. Turns out I was dead wrong. I'm going to make it up to him right now. Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the Week of the year. Sorry, Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the year goes to our friend Hot Rod. The glasses, the rec specs up there with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Eric Dickerson. Make way, fellas. Rodrigo Blankenship coming in hot. Rodrigo Blankenship. Congratulations, Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick of the Week. Love you, big dog. Okay, I'm going to get a drink. I'm not a wine guy. Gives me heartburn. Red wine does. Not a dry white wine guy. And I bought a thing of really cheap Pinot Grigio for cooking. My wife doesn't drink, so I just had it in the fridge. I was like, I got to get rid of this thing or else it's just going to go bad. Your boy's not going to waste $3. I would refuse to do that. So I poured a glass of it, and I took a sip, and I said, this tastes like shit. And my wife said, why don't you put some juice in there to cut it down a little bit? And I said, okay, I can do that. So I put a splash of V8 in there. A splash of V8 splash. Come on. It's Diet V8 Splash. So now not only does this taste bad, but now it tastes a little bit better because of the V8, but it's still not great. And then also now it has the diet aftertaste. So Mazel Tov. All right. Okay. Which one do we want to go with next? What do you think, gang? We got two that we can go with here. We got Bad Look of the Year, and we got Dumbass of the Year. I think I'm going to go Bad Look of the Year. There were three nominees for Bad Look of the Year. Week 2, Wade Phillips was a nominee for, this is when he was the Brahmas head coach. 1 second. I just took that out. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm wearing a grout fit. Get over it. So Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips was a nominee in week 2. This is when he's the Brahmas head coach. his nomination come because he's you could see his nipples through his shirt. Um, you could see his nipples through his shirt. Um, and that's a bad look. Anybody who's ever worn a golf shirt knows that golf shirts are the nippliest revealing shirt of all time. And Wade Phillips was definitely wearing a Brahma's golf shirt, and you could see his nipples. So that was a bad look. But that was early on in the season. The bad look of the week went away for a little bit. In week 3, Phil McGeegan, Battlehawks offensive coordinator, was nominated for bad look of the week. He won bad look of the week. He was nominated for bad look of the year with his winning of bad look of the week. When his offense was doing nothing against the defender's defense, and his quarterback was throwing in interceptions, and he wasn't using good route combinations, and everything was bad. His offensive line was getting punished. And then it cut to him in the press box, and he just looked like he had seen he walked into a slaughterhouse of people. He walked into a person slaughterhouse. He looked white in the face, emotionless, and he was just looking forward like he had nothing, because he did have nothing. And it was a bad look. It was the look of a man who's like, I don't belong here. I don't belong in this uniform, in this shirt that I'm wearing, in this press box. I don't belong here. And you could see the expression on his face. And it was a really bad look. It was a really, really bad look in a bad game. So Phil McGeegan is a nominee. The last nominee is, once again, your man, Big Tone, Anthony Becht. And this came from the Week 8 game. The bad look in this one, if you recall, was a little bit of a combination thing, and it's not entirely his fault. This one came because what they were doing is that, this is when they were playing the Birmingham Stallions, and on one side of the field you had Skip Holtz coaching everybody up all the time. Quarterback doesn't do something right, he's talking to him in the headset, gets him over on the sideline, coaching him up and everything like that. Cuts to the other sideline, and Anthony Becht's just, come on, guys, come on. And doing that, just trying to pump people up and, not really coaching at all. So it was a bad look for Anthony Becht to just have the juxtaposition, as it were. On one side of the field, you got this super involved head coach who's making sure he gets the best out of his guys. And then on this side of the field, you have Anthony Becht. So those are the 3 nominees. This one, I believe, because I can't just give it to Nipple Shirt, to old Wade Nipple Shirt Phillips, and I can't give it to Anthony Becht because it's not his fault that he got a bad edit. The people on Fox or ESPN, whichever, they didn't have to do him like that. And to be fair, I'll shit on Anthony Becht because it doesn't look like he's doing anything. But his team has won 8 games this season, 6 of them in a row. He's doing something, and he's doing something right. I can't give it to him. It's got to go to Phil McGeegan because, goddamn, dude, that looked terrible. Holy shit, man. You looked like you were in over your head, and you were, man. That was brutal, Phil. You look so bad. You look so bad. Ah, man, somebody's gonna come up if he doesn't win the championship. Either on, if he doesn't win certainly if he doesn't win the XFL championship, if he doesn't win the UFL championship, buddy, I might try to find his address and just mail him pictures of that. Because oh my God, he looked like a fucking fool. Congratulations, Phil McGeegan. For Phil McGeegan, on the bad look of the year. Bad look of the year. You don't want that, Phil. You don't want that. My intention here is that I'm going to, if he does catch wind of this, hopefully he'll coach better. Phil, if you are listening to this, rewind 10 seconds and then fast forward 20 seconds. All right. You shouldn't have heard that last part. Okay, now rewind 20 seconds and fast forward 30 seconds. Okay, and here we are. I didn't miss a beat. Next one that we're going to do is going to be the Dumbass of the Year. Dumbass of the Year. believe it or not, I only had 3. This one kind of came into the rotation of awards that I was giving out a little bit later into the season than I initially thought. The first nominee for Dumbass, the first winner of Dumbass of the Week was in Week 5. Mike Nolan, that is the Michigan Panthers head coach. If you recall, Bryce Perkins was doing decently well, moving that Michigan offense down the field against the Battlehawks' good defense. And then just out of fucking nowhere, Mike Nolan put in Danny Etling, and 6 plays on the same drive later, Dumbass throws a really bad interception. And it's like, Mike, you're a dumbass. Why would you take out the hot hand just to put in this clown? You. To be fair, he made the game much better, because if they kept Bryce Perkins in, that ended up being a really close game. If you recall, that was the one with the Keem Butler 2 touchdown catches, and it ended up being a really good game because Mike Nolan was a dumbass and put in a guy who is not even backup quality, backup UFL quality into the game, and then got punished for it immediately. Dumbass, Mike Nolan, you dumbass. So that's number 1. And then in Week 6. Battlehawks are playing the Arlington Renegades at home. And Bob Stoops iced his own kicker. He iced his own kicker. This is the one where whichever wide receiver stepped out of bounds. It was like, I think it must have been a 4th down play or something like that. Must have been. I can't remember the exact situation. But their wide receiver stepped out of bounds, then came back in bounds, and then caught the ball. And then they no, that must have been a 3rd down play, because then they ruled it illegal touching, moved the ball back. What is that, 10, 15 yards? They moved the ball back because it was a penalty instead of the touchdown that we all thought it was. But then Bob Stoops, his kicker, comes out there. And then all of a sudden the play gets whistled dead. The kicker, or the long snapper, snaps the ball, whatever the kicker's name is, boots it right through the uprights. Beautiful. He makes it. Everybody's like, what the fuck is happening? Why is people coming on the field? Because you couldn't hear the whistle or anything like that. And then turns out it's because Bob Stoops wanted to challenge the play that Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira had already looked at. And they were like, yeah, no, you can't. You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure you want to challenge that? We're going to cost you a timeout. You sure want to use a challenge right now? And he said no. And then his kicker goes right back out there and then has to kick again and then misses it. I said this at the time. If a kicker is getting iced and they do the practice snap and practice kick and it goes in, and then they go back out there after being iced and then he kicks it and then it goes in again, my thought is, hey, good thing that they iced him, so we got that practice kick. And on the other hand, if they do the practice snap, long snapper snaps it, kicker kicks it, it goes in, timeout happens, that kick didn't count, and then he comes back out there, long snapper snaps it, kicker kicks it again, and it goes wide, my thought is, you probably shouldn't have wasted that first kick, dumbass. So dumbass of the week goes to Bob Stoops for icing his own kicker. And then, last opportunity, Week 9. I realized this. I didn't do any awards for Week 10 because I didn't want to. Week 9, Dumbass of the Week. Dumbass of the Week in Week 9 was Big Tone. Yeah, that's 3 in a row, Big Tone. 3 nominations in a row. Maybe not in a row because I did Donkey Dick, Donkey Kick. But Big Tone with the challenging, using his challenge on the kick return that Micah Abraham came down, stopped him at the 11-yard line. There is 1 second left on the clock going into halftime. The Battlehawks are up 21-7 at this point. The San Antonio's kicking field goal team is on the field. If they kick this, it's 21-10. That's an 11-point game. They're kicking a field goal to go up, or to go from it being a 2-score game to it also being a 2-score game. You know their field goal units on the field, and they're only going to kick the ball because they're stupid. What could be dumber than that? it would be challenging. It would be challenging for a hold on that long kickoff. That's dumber. That's dumber. Kicking a field goal to go from a 2-score game to a 2-score game is dumb. But challenging a play when the field goal team is on the field and it's not like you're pitching a shutout at this point. You're a dumbass, Tone. Why did you do that? That was a really dumbass thing for you to do, buddy. That was such a dumbass thing. You were a real dumbass for that one, Tony. So, 3 nominees again: Mike Nolan for putting Danny Etling in, Bob Stoops for icing his own kicker, and then Tony challenging the kick return. I got a decision here. Do I give it to Mike Nolan because he ended up making the game better, so maybe he knew something, he did something dumb, but it was for the greater good? Do I give it to Bob Stoops for icing his own kicker? Mistakes are made. You make mistakes sometimes, you know? Sometimes you're like, hey, I thought I saw something there. I thought that receiver actually did catch that ball. You know, you make mistakes. And then there's Tony, and he's just a goddamn idiot. Tony, you dumbass. Dumbass of the year. Going to Tony Becht. Oh, Big Tone. Big Tone. Not good. Not good for you. Dumbass of the year, Anthony Becht. Okay. Let us get into... let's go to... we got one more before we get to the big 3. Let's do hot mic of the year. I gotta think of a new name for this because the way about halfway through the 2023 season they stopped doing like the traditional hot mics where they just had everybody mic'd up all the time and you would just hear some real bad shit. Then they kind of started being a little bit safer with it, and the hot mic thing kind of went away. But that's just the name of it for now. It's a legacy name. We'll call it a legacy name. You know what? That's the move. That's the move right there. I'm gonna call this a legacy award, and then the name can never change. Look at me circumventing the rules that I made up myself. Look at this. Okay, in week 1, hot mic of the week that week was Manny Wilkins saying that was a bad play call for right now. Just saying it into the ether. He was in the middle of the field, and he got the play. That was a Jarvian Howard run that went nowhere. And then you could hear Manny Wilkins say, that was a bad play call for right now. So that's good. I like that. Week 5, the hot mic of the week was this was the right after the what's it called? After the Hakeem Butler touchdown. His second touchdown. He's on the side being interviewed by Sam Acho, and he says, two safeties out there to cover me. Motherfuckers can't do that. And then there was silence on the broadcast for about a minute. And then it went to the guys in the booth, and they said, well, I'm sorry for what you guys heard right there. No, you weren't. It was silence for 2 minutes because they cut your mic because you guys were laughing so goddamn hard is what it was. So that was a good one. Honestly, front runner right now. Week 6, hot mic of the week. I don't have the quote, but this was when Willie Harvey and was it Travis Feeney or was it Peter Tamoy-Penu? It was two of those three guys. Definitely Willie Harvey. So it was either Travis Feeney or Peter Tamoy-Penu. Were smoking Luis Perez. Somebody got penalized for like tapping him in the side of the head, and then because he's a little bitch, he started whining for penalties. It's like, shut the fuck up, asshole. And then and then when he got strip sacked by Peter Tamoy-Penu, he wanted a penalty on Willie Harvey for doinking him in the side of the head like 2 plays or a play after the first one happened. And he's sitting there, he's bitching and moaning. He's telling his coach to challenge. He's telling Bob Stoops to challenge that play because it should be a personal foul for illegal touching of the head. And then Bob Stoops believed him. And then it didn't get and then they didn't accept the challenge. They didn't penalize the Battlehawks. So hot mic of the week that week goes to Luis Perez for making an absolute fool out of himself. Week 7 was the Battlehawks at the Memphis Showboats. And Jim Turner, the Showboats head coach, at one point yelled, TJ, fucking give him the fucking down and distance. And Jim Turner is just, his voice is terrific. He's like, It was just he's just a football guy yelling at his, I believe, what did I say? TJ was his like a wide receivers coach or something like that. I loved that. In week 8 was Birmingham and Battlehawks, and this one I just put Skip Holtz for negging his team. The way that he just handles himself on the sideline, like I said before, he's like coaching his team up. But a lot of the way that he coaches people is he kind of just calls him a dumbass, which I really enjoy. But he does it in like a very tactful coaching guy kind of way. And then in week 9 was Travis Feeney being unblocked on the Brahma's first drive. Gets the 4th down stop, goes over to the sideline. I believe it was also Sam Acho was interviewing him, and Travis Feeney said, I hope they never block me. I also hope they never block you, Travis Feeney. I also hope they never block you. What insight that was. So that is our what is that? 6 nominees. That's a bad play call right now. 2 safeties out there to cover me. Motherfuckers can't do that. Luis Perez making himself look like a bitch. TJ, fucking give him the fucking down and distance. Skip Holtz for negging his team. And I hope they never block me. Obviously, this one's going to go to Hakeem Butler for saying 2 safeties out there to cover me. They can't, motherfuckers can't do that. Beautiful. Beautiful. To the point, had the microphone in his hand and everything like that. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Beautiful. Hot mic of the year goes to Hakeem Butler. Fuck yeah, dude. Okay, let's go to, now we're on to the big 3. Big 3. Bitch of the week. Bitch of the year, as it were. In week 1, bitch of the week was Kiki Chisholm, the Houston wide receiver, because he was complaining. He was asking for flags when his team was down 23 points. You're a bitch. You're going to complain for flags? You're a bitch. Yeah, what? Yo, you're a bitch. You're going to complain for flags down 20? You think the flags are going to save you? You're a bitch. You bitch. That was week 1. Week 2. Week 2 was bitch of the week was Wade Phillips. Guys, I don't like Wade Phillips. Longtime Cowboys head coach. Once a Cowboy, always a Cowboy. Fuck Wade Phillips. You old. He thinks himself so high and mighty. You old bitch. Wade Phillips got bitch of the week. I honestly was probably just looking for something to call him a bitch. But at one point, one of his players got penalized for a roughing the passer when it was like a hands to the like a touching of the head, whatever the hell, going high, whatever the hell it was. And then it cuts to Wade Phillips, and he's sitting there with his palms up. Head coach going palms up. Can't go palms up as a head coach. Wade, you're a bitch. Wade, you're a bitch. You know the rules, you stupid bitch. In week 3, I just wrote Dean Blandino. Honestly, that's a good one to always go to. That's a good. If you're looking for a bitch of the week and Dean Blandino shows his face on the screen, hey, Dean, shut up, bitch. Did not have one for week 5. No, for week 4. I didn't have one for week 4. That was when Manny Wilkins got hurt. In week 5, my bitch of the week was just rules of football. My bitch of the week was just the rules. This hat's, honestly, it's kind of getting a little bit uncomfortable. Bitch of the week in week 5 was the rules because the Panthers had 10 penalties against them for something like 120 something yards or something like that. So it's just like, man, these rules are really bitchy. These rules are real bitch like, man. These you can't. Man, if I'm the rules, I'm looking at myself in the mirror the next day being like, am I a bitch? Nobody even wants to follow me. What do I hold? What do I even do here? This team is just not obeying me whatsoever. I'm a real bitch, and I'm the rules. So week 5, bitch of the week was the rules of football. Week 6 was the Luis Perez hits to the head. That was what I was talking about with the hot mic thing. Him complaining and being a little bitchy wiener boy, because he is a little wiener boy. Luis Perez was bitch of the week in week 6. And then bitch of the week in week 7 was playing the Memphis Showboats. They got a turnover, and then on the sideline, it cuts to them because, the Renegades get a turnover. They have like that cowboy hat that this hat is really uncomfortable. You could see the red mark on my forehead. Sheesh. Told you, got a noggin on my neck. They cut over to the sideline, and it shows whoever the guy that got the turnover was, and Arlington has a cowboy hat. Memphis just had a Party City captain's hat. And it's like, yeah, you got a turnover, but now you look like a bitch. So does the turnover even matter? Like, I wouldn't want to get a turnover. It meant I had to go on the sideline and look like a bitch. Like, I don't want that. So bitch of the week was the turnover captain's hat. Obviously, the bitch of the week has to go to Luis Perez. If he's not gonna get, or bitch of the year. Sorry, I keep doing bitch of the week for all this shit. Bitch of the year goes to Luis Perez. Man, that guy is such a bitch. What are you gonna? It's a spring football league. You got nothing going on for you. You learn playing football from watching YouTube, guy. Call like you got nothing going on for you. You're gonna bitch about the rules because you think that's gonna save you, buddy. Bitch. Dude, Luis Perez, watching him, and he does it in every game. He always complains about the rules and always asks for stuff, just like that bitch Mahomes, man. They just always are asking for penalties. That bitch Josh Allen, always asking for penalties, dude. Just be a fucking man. Be Jalen Hurts. Somebody goes and tries to break your leg in the divisional round of the playoffs, you get the fuck up and you limp off because you're a goddamn man. Don't be a bitch and whine about shit. That was hot. I got hot on that one. That one's been cooking for a minute. Luis Perez is a bitch because if you complain about the rules, you're a bitch. Second place is Kiki Chisholm in week 1 for complaining about the rules. You're a bitch. Shut up, bitch. Okay, that got hot. That was supposed to be playful, and I feel like I kind of got a little hot there. I'm going to take another little sip. Man, that really doesn't taste good. Okay, 2 more awards left. You know this one. Of the week. So we get Cacaw of the week. That is going to be the final thing that I put out there. The final award. Cacaw of the week goes to the best player of each game, and Cacaw of the week this year, the Cacaw of the year is going to go to the best player of the year. The of the week goes to the player who did the worst in any given week. It's the exact opposite of the Cacaw of the week. Think about it like that. Of the weeks this week, the nominees were Chris Payton-Jones in week 1, Jared Jones-Smith and Pita Tamwe-Penu in week 2. That one hurt. I remember Pita Tamwe-Penu was not able to contain the edge in week 2. That was painful. In week 4, again, I didn't have one. In week 5 was Miles Jones, number 24. That Miles, M-Y-L-E-S, Miles Jones, number 24, the backup cornerback. In week 6 was Jerome Cap, wide receiver special teams guy. In that game, again, this is against Arlington, and it was like some stupid, crazy, like 18-play drive where Battlehawks get them all the way backed up. They're punting the ball, and then there's a penalty on the first punt, and they have to Arlington has to punt the ball again, and it's like, okay, Battlehawks are going to have great field position. Not a Jerome Cap has something to say about it, and then he came in and smoked the kicker, got a roughing the kicker, 15 yards, automatic first down. So Jerome Cap got the week for that one. In week 7, Jake Sutherland got of the week because he I missed one. In week 3, the entire offensive line got of the week because they played really poorly against the against DC. Week 7, Jake Sutherland got the week because he was really bad at run blocking. Like, he whiffed on so many blocks, and they really could have exploded and like been good second level runs for Jake Sutherland or for Jacob Sailors. But Jake Sutherland didn't execute right, and he got of the week for that. In week 8, Cam Kelly got the week against Birmingham because there's several times. The only points that Birmingham scored were on these giant chunk plays, explosive plays when the Battlehawks were in single high, and Cam Kelly was that single high safety. And there was one was real bad. I believe it was Deion Kane caught it. It was probably Deion Kane. He always got the big touchdowns. But he ran a slant, beat the corner, but then Cam Kelly is sitting there Deion Kane is running into Cam Kelly, but Cam Kelly takes a bad angle and does not even touch him. And there was a few other plays like that, but Cam Kelly had a really bad game being the single high safety in that game. So he got the week in that. And then in week 9, Callahan O'Reilly. linebacker number 59. He got bullied all game. He was coming down to make tackles, but people, and it was against San Antonio, a dead team, and they were bulldozing him, just lining up behind their pads and just fucking ramming them into him, and he was just getting punished, getting thrown out of the club, all kinds of stuff like that. So our nominees for of the year: Chris Payton-Jones, Peter Tamoy-Penu, and Jared Jones-Smith. I think I'm going to actually make a Jared Jones-Smith in that one, just because I do remember he kept getting beat around the edge a lot. It was a game where the Battlehawks were playing really well almost entirely, except for Jared Jones-Smith on the offense. Week 3 was the offensive line. Week 4, Miles Jones. Week 5, Jerome Kapp. Week 6, Jake Sutherland. Week 8, Cam Kelly. Week 9, Callahan O'Reilly. There is one person who's on here twice, and he is going to be the of the year. I've been critical of him for a long time. In 2023, I didn't understand why he was the all-UFL left tackle. Was every left tackle in the league that bad, that this guy was the guy that was the best in the league? Jared Jones-Smith is going to be the of the year. He has been a liability at left tackle. It has been very bad. There's been forced fumbles caused because of his poor play. Jared Jones-Smith, of the year. Pains me to give it to you, man. Pains me. It's opening after week 1. I had very high hopes, and then week 2 happened. I was like, oh, well, the team's still winning, but that's clearly a position that's not good. Then week 3 happened. It's like, there it is. There it is. That's our Jared Jones-Smith. That's our boy. And honestly, I think I've been critical of him since the inception of the XFL in 2022, because at that point, or 2023, because at that point I had a name for Jawan Bushell-Beatty and Jared Jones-Smith, the hyphens, because they were there but they don't do anything, because they also have hyphenated last names. That was clever. That was a clever nickname for them. Jawan Bushell-Beatty's done a lot better. Jared Jones-Smith, still not good. All right, Cacaw of the year. Cacaw of the year. All right. In week 1, it was split between Steven Gonzalez and Abdul Beecham. I split it between those two because in that game, Battlehawks were doing a lot of traps. They're doing a lot of traps, and these two guys were splitting things wide open. Specifically, Steven Gonzalez probably was a little bit more deserving of it that game. In week 2 is Jacob Sailors for getting over 100 rushing yards. The guy was unstoppable. In week 3, it was Travis Feeney. In week 5, it was Hakeem Butler for his 2 touchdowns. Welcome back, Hakeem Butler is what I said. In week 6, it was Peter Tamoy-Penu for having 2 forced fumbles against Arlington. In week 7, it was Travis Feeney. In week 8, it was Travis Feeney. In week 9, it was Micah Abraham for his forced fumble, or scoop and score, and then his hustle back on that kick return. Guys, this is an easy one. This is such an easy one. This is such an easy one. It's Travis Feeney. Travis Feeney is the cacaw of the year. Travis, congratulations, my guy, 32 years old. Not a chance that he's going to make it to the NFL. The guy just loves playing football. He plays with so much passion. Yeah, Peter Tamoy-Penu is going to be the defensive player of the year because he did really good in a lot of different circumstances, getting a lot of sacks and stuff like that. To keep into account, the left tackle is typically the better of the tackles on the team. I mean, it's not the case for the Battlehawks, but you're covering typically the quarterback's blind side. It's harder to rush off of that left side, and that's where Travis Feeney cooks, man. That's where he cooks. Peter Tamoy-Penu is rushing against a right guard or right tackle, beating him all the time, man. That's really good. He's made really impactful plays. But the best plays of the season have been made by Travis Feeney. The best plays of the season on an incredibly consistent basis have been made by Travis Feeney. Travis Feeney is the cacaw of the year. Hands down, without a doubt, Travis Feeney, congratulations, my guy. You're the best player on this Battlehawks team. Love it. Love it. Guys, that is the award show. That is the Jake Award show. That's what you get. This has been solid. It's the solid awards. Travis Feeney, you are a solid player, my guy. You are the solid player of the year. I don't know if they make a patch for that. I don't make patches, but Travis Feeney, solid player of the year, cacaw of the year. Beautiful. So to recap, here's our awards. The hell yeah of the week goes to two dudes who slapped each other. Hero of the week was a ref who didn't call taunting. That didn't work of the week was the Anthony Beck pump-up speech. The don't do that, dumbass was the Anthony Beck challenge on a kick return. The donkey kick of the week of the year. God damn it. I kept saying of the week for all those. Let's start over. The hell yeah of the year, two dudes. Hero of the year, the ref who didn't call taunting. That didn't work of the year goes to Beck's pump-up speech. The dumbass of the year goes to Anthony Beck. The donkey kick of the year goes to Rodrigo Blankenship. The bad look of the year goes to Phil McGeegan. I missed a hot mic of the year goes to Hakeem Butler from Motherfuckers Can't Do That. The bitch of the year goes to Luis Perez because he's a bitch. He's a bitch. The of the year goes to Jared Jones-Smith, Battlehawks left tackle. And Cacaw of the year, the solid player of the year, goes to Travis Feeney. Thank you, guys. This has been solid. Go Battlehawks, go Birds, go Ironbirds, cause the law, Cacaw. Anything that you say to anybody, they'll be like, oh, that's just a Battlehawks guy. That's all that is. Like I went to a birthday dinner for my wife tonight. My parents and my brought me, my brother, his girlfriend, me and my wife out to dinner for my wife's birthday. We're walking into the restaurant, all right? My brother, they're sitting off to the side on the patio, and we're getting ready to walk in, and then all of a sudden I just hear a booming voice, very loud voice, yells, "Hey, Jake!" Like loud, in a public space. And I turned my head and said, chill, bring it down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. And obviously by me saying that, he was like, oh, it's just a Battlehawks guy. That's all that is. All right, I will talk to you guys on Sunday for a rehawction. Could be the last show of the year. We don't know. Oh, I was going to do a prediction, dude. I almost forgot about the prediction. I can't forget about the prediction. What am I doing? Jacob, you fucking moron. You stupid or something? You are stupid. You stupid idiot. Okay, Battlehawks are playing the DC Defenders at 5 p.m. on Sunday. The Battlehawks are favored by 2 points right now. Over-under is 47.5. I think this is a 1-point game. Battlehawks are going to win 26-25. Battlehawks are going to get those 26 points. They are going to get 16 of them off of touchdowns and 2-point conversions. They're going to get another 6 off of a touchdown. So that gets us to 24. The Battlehawks are going to win 27-26 now, I've decided. And then Rodrigo Blankenship is going to kick a game-winning field goal to put the Battlehawks up at the very end of the game, 27-26. That's how the game's going to go. 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal, game-ending field goal. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll talk to you guys on Sunday with the rehawction of Battlehawks winning and going to the UFL Championship. There it is. Talk to you guys later. Bye.